Hey kings and queens, welcome to another episode of Elevate with E. It's E here, Uwarni Hughes, CEO of Great Gale LLC, dedicated to rewriting the narrative. And this is a podcast aimed at helping you elevate over the limits life throws at you. So today's topic is Tatakai X. So let me explain what that means. Tatakai is a Japanese word for fight. And fight means to harm or gain power over an adversary by blows or with weapons. And X, in this case, symbolizes times and multiplication. Again, fight or tatakai means to attempt to harm or gain power over an adversary by blows or with weapons. X, in this case, symbolizes times or multiplication. So as I mentioned in the last episode, Sight Beyond Sight, today is about Tatakai. What I didn't mention is the X at the end. So that X again symbolizes times, in other words, multiplication. See, in life you will have to fight. It doesn't even matter if you don't want to fight, the fight will come to you. Perfect example, when I was in high school, two kids were fighting outside the school. I ignored them because I didn't care. I didn't care about seeing the fight. I was just trying to get to art club. I think it was Art Honor Society. Yeah, the Art Honor Society. That was so much fun, that club. Anyway, I was trying to get to the club, and when I got to the club, the teacher in charge, Mr. Grasso, said I had to go to the principal's office to get something. Now I went from outside up the stairs, and then I had to go back down the stairs to the principal's office since he was on the first floor. When I went to the principal, he walked right past me. I'm like, man, what is going on? And then that's when I realized, why did he run past me? Basically, the fight that was outside the school moved to inside the school. In fact, it moved right behind of me. I remember it because the fist hit the other kid square in his face, and the gust whoosh, just hit me. And that's when I turned and realized it. It was much closer than I thought. I say all that to say that fights are a part of life. Sometimes they'll involve you, sometimes they'll be around you, but they're just natural to life. I had to tell myself to fight Tatakai when I felt like giving up on Bold Saga. And I may have touched on this before, I may not have, but it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, and it wasn't all grind. There were some times when I felt like giving up on Bold Saga. A perfect example is when I missed all my deadlines. I said I was going to have Bold Saga done before Juneteenth of 2020. I said I was going to have it done within 5 months, within 90 days. I failed so many times that the teacher that basically was teaching me, it was Black Sands. I was taking their audio course, their book writing course, basically getting your comic done in 90 days. I failed, and I met Mama Godore, and he told me that you failed the course. But he was like, I understand, life happens. And it did. You know, another fight basically was fighting to continue to release the story in the midst of failing the course, in the midst of my grandfather passing away when I was about 90% done. You know, all of these times, even a major L that I'd taken, you know, right before getting deep into Bold Saga, right after the idea came in 2018, I had a major L in 2019 in the beginning. That could have ended everything. Then there would be no Bold Saga. In all of those situations, I had to tell myself to Tatakai, to fight, to keep my dream alive. But it wasn't just once, it was Tatakai X. It was multiple times. So again, the reality is that you have to fight. But, I'm not just trying to tell you to be a warmonger. You can't fight everything. You know, like when there's the prayer, give me the serenity to pray for the things I can change, and like the wisdom to know what I can't. Some things you can't fight. You have to choose your fights wisely. In fact, sometimes not fighting is the fight. Fighting pride and ego. There are some key moments even in animes, like in One Piece, where you'll see that take place as well. The goal when life throws a fight at you is not to get caught up in why or why not, but what next. See, if there's anything Aikido Jiu-Jitsu taught me, and it did teach me a lot when I was learning in college, is that in a fight, when you are calm, you are in control. You don't go off in an emotional rage. You get to the point decisively. Aikido Jiu-Jitsu. You know, to become one and redirect, taking all that negative energy that they throw at you, pivoting and switching it up and throwing it right back. That is the goal, you know. It's even, I remember, I believe it was Bruce Lee, when he was training, had mentioned, someone asked him, why are we learning to fight? And he was like saying, I would rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. The point is being able to know how to defend yourself and to be able to, when dealing with contentious situations, how to navigate them and prevail in the midst of the adversity. That is where Tatakai comes in. Because there's sometimes when it feels like it's going to be over, but you have to tell yourself the Tatakai. You know, even when, as I mentioned last week, you know, that's how Tatakai even came up as an episode. When I found out, you know, I had sight beyond sight to, you know, hear that voice in my head to tell me to look on the USPTO for another idea. And then something said, look at Bold Saga, and there it was. All the energy just zapped out of me. I'm like, it's over. They got it. I mean, what am I going to do? But then the Tatakai came out of my spirit. It's like, you have to fight this, because if you've put in as much work as I have for an endeavor, it was like 20 months, are you really going to just give up because someone else got to a position for your idea first? No. If it's worth fighting for, it's worth going the distance because it's worth it. If you put in the work, then you must fight to preserve and protect what came to you, you know, what the creator has given you, you know. Again, some fights are quick, some fights, however, they may take longer. That's one of my favorite phrases from anime is Tatakai. Now, I've heard it multiple times in multiple animes, but the ones that come to mind off the top are when Captain Erwin was saying it in Attack on Titan, Eren saying it, Sasuke, Tanjiro, Shoto, Bakugo, all have said Tatakai. You know, even specifically even shouting it. Oh my gosh, it's a amazing war cry. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's like, it reminds me of I think that was episode 2 of Elevate with You, or one of the early episodes, and it's like Yibambe, you know, stand fast, you know, hold fast. When you have these war cries, these chants, these words, they give you a certain type of energy to overcome, to persevere, just to flip that switch in your mind, to not get focused on stress, but focus on progress. Saying Tatakai, man, that fight, it goes into the depths of your persona, man. It's incredible. It's one of the reasons why I love anime and manga so much. It's just real. Again, the reality is that some fights aren't over with one hit. I'm not just talking about physical ones. That's simple. A physical fight is easy because you can see the foe. The greatest battles occur in the mind against forces you don't see. Because if I were to ask, what does complacentness, fear, worry, or low energy even look like? You know, when you're just fighting just a whole bunch of anger or depression, what would that even look like? What does it feel like? What does it These are things that you can't perceive on a natural level because they just come on a spiritual one. They happen in life, so you have to keep fighting to overcome these things. That's where the X comes in. I didn't mention that last week, but I'm mentioning it now. You have to fight and fight and fight until it's done. Tatakai, Tatakai, Tatakai. You have to keep fighting until the fight is over. That's why Les Brown says, it's not over until I win. Again, it's not over until I win. Sometimes it's Tatakai, Tatakai, and then you win. Other times it's Tatakai X3, you know, X5, or even more. That's how you accomplish a goal that you struggled with. I mean, I had to do this. How many times I failed graphic design? How many times I'm like, man, I hate everything right now because I went to college to learn how to become a game developer. That's what I wanted to do. I have a certificate in like 2D game design, which is great, but I wanted to really go to full sail. Couldn't afford it. Went to college. I don't even like this college, but I'm here now. What am I going to do? Don't worry about how the fight happened. What are you going to do in the midst of it? So it's like, either learn fine art, which is nice, that's your traditional art, or learn digital art, you know, commercial art and digital technology. That's art into the future. And I'm like, if I'm ever gonna learn how to create a video game, I'm gonna at least need to know the digital tools to make it. So I made that executive decision and went this degree, graphic design. I failed so much. It was so boring, but I had to keep fighting against all of these D's and C's. I remember it got so bad. I think I had a D- on logo design, and then the school lost power, and then the professor was like, what do you think we're doing, man? Professor Emerson, he said, what do you think we're doing? You're not getting no extra time. This is counting against your time. I don't care when the power's coming back. Whatever time it comes back, I'll give you that time. I think we lost power for like 7 minutes, and we only had an hour for class. 7 to 10 minutes. That really rocked me. Boy, I put my heart and soul in it. I was like, oh yeah, I put everything in. I put that Tatakai in. Man, when I got that grade back, he was like, you went from a D minus to like a C minus. I only went up like 5 or 10, so maybe it wasn't even a D minus. It's probably a D. I went to a C minus. Boy, I was vexed, no joke. I had to wash my face off in the bathroom of water because I was so angry. I'm like, I'm failing so much. But you have to Tatakai, you have to fight, and you have to find out how to fight. Because the way how I overcame that struggle and that challenge was, instead of just trying to comprehend, graphic design on the level of an illustrator, which is just making great pictures and everything, it looks great on a surface level. Going deeper into design level, like, what is this element or principle talking about? What is this color conveying? Is the positive and negative space actually telling a story that's visually compelling? Is it making sense? Is it readable? Does the font choice make sense? The typeface? Are the elements and principles actually working together, or are they fighting each other? These are things I had to learn, and when I started applying these mechanics of graphic design, that's how I Tatakai, and that's how I was able to go from all them C's and D's, which I know I didn't deserve, to A's in graphic design. That's how I ended up passing graphic design and getting a ton of A's in the last semester. It was the second to last, and the last semester when I finally started to understand graphic design. I mean, I've talked about it before. I help people as well from Computer Graphics Club as the president when I was teaching it. But the point is, I had to fight. I had to fight every type of issue and struggle that tried to come in my way. And I encourage you to Tatakai too. You have to fight. When it's a worthwhile fight and the enemy is hindering your progress, you have to fight. I mean, that's why even in the word you'll hear, ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. These aren't just one-time actions. These are continuous knockings. These are continuous askings. These are continuous seeking. All these require a fight to override the negative energy that craves you staying at the bottom. Because every day you stay at the bottom, every day you don't fight to become a better version of yourself, all of the enemies that are coming against you are there laughing. All of the averageness and, the ordinary and basicness that tries to cling onto us, that tries to keep us in a safe, comfortable place. Comfortability is laughing at you when you're not fighting to become a better version of yourself. Whether it's changing your diet and exercising more, whether it's reading more to improve your comprehension, even just working towards your dreams or your goals. Another thing that you have to fight Tatakai is when you write something down, do it. Saying things is great, but you have to do both. Faith without works is dead. If you just talk about it, have the faith in it, but don't do anything, then what are you doing? You have to Tatakai against all the proclivities and overcome the challenges life throws at you. If anything, anime has taught me, as well as video games, is the fight is always worth it. On the other side of the enemy is your next level, is your next reward, is your next goal. If you succumb to the enemy, you remain the same. When you defeat the enemy, you transform. Your Tatakai is the key to become who you need to be. Bars! Love that, man. I'm gonna write that down, see? Anyway, so in life, don't settle for average. Don't settle for average. Don't do that. I encourage you to Tatakai X. And that brings us to the power quotes of the day. Power quote plus, actually. Even if you're weak, there are miracles you can seize with your hands if you fight unto the very end. Audio Minene from Future Diary. There are two kinds of fights. As long as we place ourselves in battle, we must always know the difference. A fight to defend life or a fight to defend pride. Ukitake Jiushiro. Again, even if you're weak, there are miracles you can seize with your hands if you fight unto the very end. Again, even if you're weak, there are miracles you can seize with your hands if you fight unto the very end. Audio Minene from Future Diary. There are two kinds of fights. As long as we place ourselves in battle, we must always know the difference. A fight to defend life or a fight to defend pride. Ukitake Jiushiro. So that brings you to the upcoming events. Bold Saga Chapter 1 and 2 are available now. Again, Bold Saga Chapter 1 and 2 are available now. I know we talked about it a bit in this episode today, but again, what is Bold Saga? It's Afrofuturism manga for the culture. I don't know about you, kings and queens, but me personally, I'm tired of whack excellence, and I believe you are too. So what am I talking about when I say whack excellence? Whack excellence is when you have representation in manga and media that is authentic to black culture. In my opinion, that is what whack excellence is. I'm kind of tired at this point. I can't speak for everyone and every other culture, but I can speak for when it comes to African representation, black representation in manga. I'm kind of tired of the Usops. I'm kind of tired of the Killer Bees, the Sister Crones, the Mr. Popos. We deserve authentic black representation. And I'm not going to just wait on all these other mangakas and all these other people to do it. I'm not. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of waiting. So instead of just talking about it in tweets and, complaining online and saying they need to do better, I just created my own. And this is Afrofuturism manga Bold Saga. And no, that is not the only reason, but that is a central point. You need to have stories that authentically represent a culture properly. And this is what Afrofuturism manga Bold Saga does, because at the end of the day, it's time to exit the ordinary and enter the extraordinary. Our young kings and queens need to see that when it comes to manga, they can see themselves in characters. They can see actual characters with afro puffs, with locks, with actual melanin that's respected. They're not just the butt of the joke. They're not just having to be saved by the hero. They're not just having their culture mocked. Or when you're trying to figure out where everyone is from, they're from a continent, but you can't tell exactly what nation they came from. It's time to see authentic representation. It's time to see empowering representation. That's what Bold Saga has. Over 40 pages of black excellence. People have said that Bold Saga is literally Shonen Jump level quality. Just got another review on Amazon. 14 reviews. Bold Saga is rated 4.7 out of 5. Like, this is remarkable. People are saying that they can't wait to read more. Their son loves this story. Their daughters love this story. They're empowered. One person even said Bold Saga gives them hope. And why is that? Bold Saga is about Masego, a meek teen unashamed to follow his dreams of becoming the next Anansi like his role model, Shaka Zulu. But first he has to overcome tests, trials, and a rite of passage that leads to a supernatural encounter where he finds out what it truly means to be bold. And what is bold? Brave onwards, limit destroyer. It's an acronym that is literally in the story. So there's so many levels to this story, but it's really remarkable because it's time to educate, empower, and inspire. Triple threat. That's what this story offers you. So much black excellence. And what do we say education? At the end of every chapter, there's literally educational pages. There's 4 at the end of Bold Saga Chapter 1, and there's so much more in Chapter 2. You even learn about the different cliques of Osa. You learn about adinkras, which are euphemisms, and these are metaphors that are literally throughout African culture. Gye, Nyame, Fawo, Hodi. Oh my gosh, so much more. There's so much black excellence in this story. Our young kings and queens deserve to see themselves as heroes, and we don't need to wait on whack excellence. We have authentic black excellence. We have it in Bold Saga. So check it out today. You can get Bold Saga Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 incredible bundles and signed on Etsy. You don't want to miss out on this. It's incredible, it's inspiring, it's encouraging, and not only do we have manga with Bold Saga, we also have notebooks as well with affirmations. Like, I am a purpose chaser, with Masego on the cover. So you can literally have drawing books that are literally affirming your young kings and queens, world changers, keep winning kings and queens. We have that as well in our merch store. So you can get all of those bundles, secure the bag bundle, all of these amazing bundles. You can get them available now on our Etsy store. So you can find that on our Instagram page and just hit the link in the bio. But again, this is Black Excellence. This is Bold Saga. Check it out today. Tell me what you think, and if you are looking forward to seeing how people respond to it, look at our reviews. Check the proof page on Instagram. The proof is in the pudding. You can actually see it all there. So check it out. Again, the shift is here. New videos and courses teaching how to make a manga, how to make a logo, graphic design, entrepreneurship, and much more are on the way. Join our mailing list so you can get a heads up when it drops. And hit the link in the bio to join our mailing list so you can stay up to date with all things regarding the shift. The first part of the shift is available on YouTube, the first preview really, how to make a manga, 5 tips for beginners. You can find that there. I'm giving expert advice because not only, just to recap, if I didn't mention it, when I'm talking about Bold Saga, I'm the mangaka for Bold Saga. Me, Yuarni Hughes, the CEO of Great Gale. That means that with this story, I went traditional with it in the aspect of I write the story, I draw the story, I self-publish the story, and I market it. All 4 is being done by me at this present moment. So what that means is when I'm teaching you these things, this is coming from 4 different aspects that can help you to create your manga, to create your story. And I've been doing this for a while. Although my manga has it took 20 months to release chapter 1, I've been learning to draw manga most of my life. So you can get amazing stories from someone who's had experience for most of their life working on something they're truly passionate about. The shift is here, kings and queens. Don't sleep on it. Again, let's protect Black legacy. Now, as I mentioned, I am the mangaka of Bold Saga, and Afrofuture is a manga to empower our young kings and queens, which was released in July 2020. Since then till now, kids and parents have been uplifted and encouraged by this series. But recently, another company filed for the identical Bold Saga trademark in comic books. Their first image is a black monkey along with their plans for the trademarks. We are taking steps to protect our brand. We are preparing to file a block their application with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. We need your help in raising funds for legal defense. Please donate to help us protect Bold Saga. Please donate today. Thank you. You can click the link in the bio on Great Gale Co. on Instagram, and you can get the donation link as well as you can see the notice of opposition as well. It's all there. Again, more amazing events are on the horizon, so stay tuned and stay up to date with all things Bold Saga when you follow us at Great Gale Co. on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Clubhouse, and Fanbase. And Great Gale Co. is GreatGaleco. And thanks for listening. Remember, Tatakai, Tatakai, Tatakai. This is your time. This is your season. It's time to elevate.